Hey, what's up guys, it's TechZoomer, talking to you here, and in today's video, I'm gonna compare the M2 Mac Mini against my M1 Max MacBook Pro 16-inch. Yes, my beast of a machine, my favorite computer ever, and my most expensive purchase ever. This machine cost me $4,000, while the M2 Mac Mini cost me $600. That's truly impressive, the way that in just 1 year, I can buy a $600 computer that can compete with a $4,000 computer. This is the power of Apple Silicon, and I couldn't be more excited to compare a $600 desktop against a $4,000 laptop. Yes, weird comparison, I know, but I do believe it's important to talk about why this M1 Max MacBook Pro, although super expensive, super powerful, and super fast, might be overkill for most of you. And I do believe that most of you that you are watching the M2 Mac Mini is way more than enough. But yes, before I start talking about the differences in specs, the differences in performance, I just want to tell you, if you are looking for a laptop, then this video doesn't make any sense. And if you are just looking for a desktop, again, this video doesn't make any sense for you. This is a video for someone that just wants to buy a Mac. Desktop, laptop, they are not sure. They are just wondering which is the better value, buying a laptop right now or buying a desktop and building a setup later. So in today's video, I will compare all of the performances, all of my newest findings on Final Cut Pro, my newest benchmarks on the M1 Max, on the M2, everything will be compared in this video. And since the price of this computer is $4,000 and that one is $600, that's an almost $5,000 investment. So do not forget to drop a like down below, subscribe to the channel, because I really need that money right now. I'm really broke. But the M1 Max MacBook Pro is my favorite computer ever, but the M2 Mac Mini only cost me $600. Amazing computer. So in today's video, it's the cheapest from the M2 generation against the most expensive from the M1 generation. Cheap versus expensive. Let's get started. So before I start doing anything in terms of benchmarks and speeds, let me tell you, this machine costs $4,000, but it comes with a display, comes with a keyboard, comes with a mouse, comes with speakers, and comes with amazing I/O. While the M2 Mac Mini is just the M2 chip. It doesn't come with anything else. No keyboard, no mouse, no display, nothing. And they have really crappy speakers, so almost non-existent. You will have to spend more money when you are buying an M2 Mac Mini. Unless you have a keyboard, a mouse, a pair of speakers, and a display, you'll have to spend more money. But if you do have it, then in my opinion, it's just a complete destruction, obliteration, because you just need to buy the M2 Mac Mini and you are set. But if you are looking for both combos, a full combo, a complete laptop or a complete setup for a desktop, then I do believe that the MacBooks are still the better deal. No, of course, not the $4,000 model that I have right here. This one is just overkill for almost all of you, but the 14-inch MacBook Pro with the M1 Pro chip, it's really a good deal. That computer only costs right now $1,500. You can find it used or refurbished, and it's truly an amazing deal, because it has the mini LED display 14-inch, which is incredible. It's ProMotion capable. The colors are very accurate. It's very bright. The black levels are even better than a normal LCD, and it doesn't suffer from all of the problems that OLED displays suffer. While it's still power seeping so little energy that in terms of battery life, it doesn't affect that much. That's why I do believe that the M1 Pro 14-inch MacBook Pro is still the best value Mac ever made from Apple. Of course, the M2 Mac Mini is an amazing performance per dollar, but it doesn't feature a display, it doesn't feature a mouse, a keyboard. And if you want to get the same level of accessories, or at least peripherals, that the M1 Pro 14-inch MacBook Pro offers, then it's really difficult to find it on the M2 Mac Mini realm. And I do believe that the M1 Max MacBook Pro is a different story, because with $1,000 and probably $500 more, you can get an amazing display, an amazing keyboard, an amazing mouse that rivals this one, and you will still be left with around, I would say, $2,000, because that Mac Mini only costs $600, and the performance will be close to 80% of what this computer offers, and so you will have an amazing desktop setup for only $2,000, while this laptop setup, which is really good also, costs you $4,000. So you can see the difference in terms of efficiency of dollar. So it's better to build a desktop and a setup than it's to buy a laptop. But then you have the disadvantages of having a non-portable computer, while this one is portable, more or less, because it's big, bulky, but still, it's portable. You can bring it around on your backpack, you can work on a train, plane, it does work. So I gotta say, I do still prefer the laptop form factor, and still later on the day, I do have my external display. I get home and I connect my MacBook Pro to the display and I get a 32-inch ultra-wide display. But for those that are not fortunate to have that opportunity, then I would say the M2 Mac Mini. It's really worth it if you have an external display already, a keyboard and a mouse, and just want to buy the cheapest Mac possible and save some bucks. But let's now compare the speeds and the benchmarks, because that's why you are here. You want to compare the M2 chip from the Mac Mini against the M1 Max from the latest generation of Apple Silicon, the M1 generation. So let's compare it on the benchmarks and see what are the differences.
So, to start this benchmark comparison, I will start by Geekbench 5. And as for the Mac Mini, we got 1900 points on single core performance and 8363 points for multi-core. This is really good for the Mac Mini. But the M1 Max MacBook Pro got 1780 points on single core and 12,695 points. That's about a 7% jump from the M2 Mac Mini to the M1 Max MacBook Pro. The M2 Mac Mini wins on the single core Geekbench round. As for Geekbench 5, the M2 Mac Mini scored 1840 points on single core and 7,900 on multi-core, while the M1 Max MacBook Pro scored an astonishing 1440 points on single core and, of course, a good amount of multi-core, especially 14,000. To finish off this comparison streak, let's take a look until Geekbench 5 Compute OpenGL or Metal test. As you can see, my M1 Max MacBook Pro scores 70,000 points, while my M2 Mac Mini scores only 30,000 points.
So, as you saw, the comparison it's not even close, although in some single core tests, the M2 Mac Mini performs better than the M1 Max MacBook Pro, just because it has a new M2 cores. In multi-core performance benchmarks, it's just not a comparison, because the M1 Max has 10 cores and the M2 Mac Mini there only has 8. And this has 8 high-performance cores, 2 efficiency cores. That one is a 4x4 system. 4 efficiency, 4 performance. So, there's no comparison if you want to compare multi-core benchmarks and, of course, GPU benchmarks. This is the 32 GPU core. That one is only, I think, 12 or 16. I'm not sure. But it's like at least half of the performance of this GPU. At the end of the day, I do believe it's worth it to spend $4,000 on this laptop. That's why I did. Because you get so much more performance on high intensive tasks. But if you just want to browse the web, do simple stuff, at least edit 4K footage, multiple layers of 4K footage, put some effects, some transitions, and that footage is not like very heavy, it's just H.264, H.265, then the M2 Mac Mini is way more than enough. That computer can deal with that type of footage, no problem. While my M1 Max MacBook Pro is way better for red raw footage, ProRes. Although ProRes, they are really well optimized. M2 Mac Mini just flies on ProRes. This machine just also flies. And at the end of the day, what really matters is the encoders. When you don't have an encoder for that type of format, like for example, you have H.265, H.264, ProRes encoders here, and also the M2 has ones, but it has the new generation. At the end of the day, if you have encoders for that type of codec, these two machines run very similarly. But if you don't have any type of video acceleration core for that type of codec, for example, if you don't have anything for Sony footage, Canon footage, S-Log footage, then it's where the raw power enters and it's where this machine shines. I do believe that if you are a video editor, professional video editor still, it's still very profitable to buy an M1 Pro MacBook Pro 14-inch, an M1 Pro MacBook Pro 16-inch, or at least the M2 generation, the M2 Pro or the M2 Max. It's still worth it. While if you are just a casual video editor, casual photo editor, and you just want to, like, for fun, edit some videos of your kids, edit some photos of your vacations, the M2 Mac Mini, it's way more than enough. That one will serve you pretty well. But if you are a YouTuber looking for a computer to edit all of your videos, then I will still push you away for the M2 Pro, the M2 Max. There's one good thing though. The M2 Mac Mini comes with the M2 Pro chip in an option. You can buy the M2 Pro Mac Mini. And the Mac Mini there has plenty of power to compete with the M1 Max here. It's truly a good time to be alive. Apple Silicon is improving at a very fast rate. And now for $1,300, you can get a computer that almost competes with the $4,000 from the latest generation. No, it doesn't have the amazing display that this computer has. No, it doesn't have the amazing keyboard. the amazing trackpad this computer offers. It doesn't have an amazing speaker system that the 16-inch MacBook Pro offers. But at the end of the day, it's just cheaper, way cheaper. And that's what really matters. Performance per dollar. If you are looking to get the most amount of performance while saving the most amount of money. But let me know in the comments below what you think. This is the internal debate on the computer realm. Laptop versus desktop. Which one do you prefer? Do you have a laptop? Do you have a desktop? And do you think it's worth it still to buy the M1 Max MacBook Pro, or at least the M2 Max, on a very expensive laptop? Or just save the money, go for the M2 Pro Mac Mini or the M2 Mac Mini? Let me know in the comments below what you think. I hope you enjoyed this comparison. It took me a lot of trouble to do, especially the benchmarks. Those take a ton of time, but still, it's really worth it for you guys. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to drop a like down below, subscribe to the channel. This has been Text More talking to you here. Bye bye.